Just as predicted, Bitcoin is struggling to get over these mid-teens. I predicted it would be the 14K level, but it turns out it's the 15K level. Regardless, Bitcoin is currently experiencing its next boss battle with a newer and higher high that's bringing more liquidity and essentially more money into the entire cryptocurrency space. And after the altcoin crash of early September that led to the almost unabated growth in Bitcoin, we've seen numerous characters from all over the world jump out to defiantly declare that DeFi is dead. Well, guess what? DeFi today is healthier, safer, and has more value locked in it than ever before. While everyone was obsessing over token values, the ecosystem has matured. And as we enter into what feels like a new phase for altcoins, when Bitcoin slows down or even takes a bit of a dive, those altcoins, the new ones, the ones in trending narratives, they tend to explode. So today, I'm gonna be showing you what I'm looking at, the indicators that make me so bullish on the return of DeFi, as well as these categories of coins that I think are going to do incredibly well over the coming days and weeks, as well as, of course, when I believe Bitcoin enters price discovery mode in early 2021. So if you guys are excited for this episode, opening up my brain a little bit and showing you how I'm analyzing the market, then go ahead and destroy that like button. And remember, of course, that each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own Ledger Nano S. First and foremost, let's get it out of the way that the markets are not completely descending into madness. They are not dumping into infinity as so many would like you to believe as a result of the election. In fact, we saw an amazing Monday pump after the election results were officially confirmed. More importantly, this is the chart of the total value locked in DeFi, which as you can see is at all-time highs. TVL, while not a perfect indicator, is certainly an indicator to show you at least the capital interest that is worth deploying in these ecosystems. The leader of which is, of course, Uniswap, which we know has been a revolution for the token ecosystem. And on the other hand, it's also been a bit of a swamp. It is the wild, wild west if there has ever been one in crypto land, and that's why you need to do your research, you need to do your diligence, and even when you've done those things, you can still get into some hot water on Uniswap, because in the end, even if contracts are audited, even if liquidity is locked, there are so many ways for projects to unfortunately take advantage of you. So finding those projects with solid teams, with important use cases that are figuring out how to build their community in effective ways, that is the real transformative skill set here, and that's why Uniswap has become so abundantly popular, now pushing $3 billion in total value locked. Of course, we have a suite of DeFi apps then below it with Maker, Wrapped Bitcoin, of course, which is just an asset, really, Compound, Aave, Curve, Synthetics, and we see the list goes on here, each with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in total value locked. And as you can see from this chart, while we're not in a parabolic phase for growth of TVL, we are still growing slow and steady up and to the right. And I would not be surprised to see us enter into a new parabolic phase once these altcoin token values start bouncing back as well. As a good example of the health of this ecosystem, we have Celsius here reporting that its crypto holdings are now $2.2 billion. And Celsius is one of the leading CDFI, DeFi, CDFI. That's why it's not listed in that list there, because it's not completely decentralized. However, this is one of the most standout, essentially new CDFI projects, if you will, in the entire space. And the founder, Alex Mashinsky, believes that they have created more income for their customers than anyone else in DeFi or CeFi, and they have no plans of slowing down anytime soon. You can see by the Celsius chart here, if you go to essentially the max here, that they are pretty much at their all-time high. Essentially, their all-time high was one day ago at $1.96, but that they are really not pulling back from that. If anything, this is a bull flag here, and I covered Celsius a while back because I honestly will say confidently that this branding on this site is one of the best, cleanest, and most exciting that I've seen. It's really modern. I just feel like the site really jumps out and catches your attention. I love the way that they did this, and I think that they've done well with their design. It's up there with Utrust as far as design quality for me. And I heard some people hating on it when I talked about the design on one of these videos. And you have to understand that designs, much like music or fashion, design goes in cycles, and there's always new fashions and new trends. But in my opinion, this is really kind of like a next sort of wave of design that's really in your face, easy to comprehend, and I think that they're leading the way here clearly. in TVL. They're leading the way in having they have over $670 million market cap. They're at all-time high in their token price, which means their token holders are extremely happy. And now they're claiming that they are the most successful DeFi or CDeFi app in creating revenues for their users, which of course, as he says here, is the killer app of the blockchain. Is effectively you can boil down DeFi into the concept of finding yield for your crypto. Before, your crypto was just coins. They were stagnant. If there was buying pressure, they'd go up. If there was selling pressure, they'd go down. But now it's about finding interest and income with your crypto. And this is now the killer app. Whereas Bitcoin just sitting there and holding your wealth was the killer app. Now your wealth actively finding yields is the new killer app. And that's why DeFi is getting so much attention. But it's not just DeFi. There's a lot of other trending narratives here. But of course, this isn't just Celsius. If we look at Aave, look at this chart. They are at all-time high, almost parabolic here in the later days. It's a little confusing because Aave's, their old coin, had a slightly higher market cap of about $1 billion, a little over $1 billion. So by that measure, they're here at 766 million on their new coin Aave. And I believe that, this is only 24% down from all-time high. So that's certainly not a bearish territory to be in, especially not for altcoins. I would expect for this narrative to continue, and the people that were accumulating down here at the lows, they're going to be handsomely rewarded for not turning their back on this movement. And of course, if you guys are looking just to look at all of the DeFi projects, as I'm predicting that there will be another hyper wave of DeFi that this hasn't even gotten near its top yet, it will begin to enter into Herculean new price discovery territories as Bitcoin enters into price discovery itself. You can just go to the decentralized finance tag on CoinGecko. You can get there by essentially clicking on a coin like Chainlink, which of course is one of the tips of the spear, the leaders of the DeFi movement, spanning DeFi as well as oracles. And you can see that there's all these tags here on a coin like Chainlink. And you can see that it's an oracle, it's DeFi, it's a smart contract platform, and it's a business service. But these two tags are the ones that you really want to be looking at. DeFi, you can click into it here and you get into the DeFi tab, which I was just at, or you can go to the Oracle tab, which I highly recommend you do, because one of the categories that is a little bit easier to navigate and to understand instead of just looking at all DeFi projects is of course the oracles. And looking at these oracles, you have Chainlink as sort of the most blue chip, if you will, of them. You have Band, of course, which is, I call the Pepsi to Chainlink's Coca-Cola. Then you have lower down Teller and Dia, which are favorites of the channel. I believe Teller is one of the best bets for the next sort of wave here. And then you have Dia, which has sunken down tremendously in market cap, almost to when we first discovered it here, especially on price. And to be honest, I think there's a lot going on with both Teller and Dia, and I would keep my eyes on them for the next wave. Then you also have these more micros like DOS Network, which came down to a $7 million market cap. We covered it, I think, at a $2 million market cap first, but this thing shot up, I think, over $30 million. So it did some amazing gains in the last cycle. And if you think that these oracles are any less exciting than they were on the last cycle, I have news for you that once DeFi Mania returns, these oracles will be back in full swing. I believe that. There's also Octo, and we also have Ori. And as you can see, they're not on the Oracle page, which is why you still need to be doing your hustle work here to make sure you're aware here, because these CoinGecko lists are not perfect. They give you a nice intro and entree to the category, but you have to be tracking the new gems, getting in the right groups, following the right Twitters, making sure that you're doing the hustle work to make sure you're aware of the new trending projects in these categories. Like Octo, of course, this is an anonymous team, so that comes with added risk, right? However, people are really excited about their sort of community-governed oracles. And then Ori, which is using some AI to get into the Oracle space. Both exciting projects in the Oracle space. Again, I think oracles are going to absolutely soar with the next wave of DeFi. It's important that you realize that these lists are not perfect and that there are projects that are not included within them. Definitely, you're going to want to keep your eyes on the DEXs as well, because these decentralized exchanges, as you can see, based on the DeFi Pulse here, you can see Uniswap is the #1 DeFi product with the most TVL, and that's because exchange is one of the most demanded services here in the DeFi world. There's also conveniently a tag for DEXs. Again, if you want to get to DEXs, go to Uniswap. You can see on the tags here, they have yield farming, AMMs, decentralized exchange, exchange-based tokens, DeFi governance. Definitely go into this decentralized exchange tab and you can see Uniswap, Synthetics, Loopring, Kyber, Thor your chain, right? You can sort by market cap, you can sort by the biggest gainers, but this will give you a sense of the landscape of each category of these products within the space. And remember, when a category works, it tends to, when things get really trending, have the new coins that enter into that category be extraordinarily successful. And finally, a category I talked about just a few days ago, which there's again a tag here on CoinGecko for, is insurance here. So you have this tag here, you go to Nexus Mutual is the leader of the space, go to the insurance tab, you have Nexus Mutual, ETH Risk, Safe to Ensure, and Foresight. And finally, outside the DeFi narrative, but another trending narrative that I believe is going to have a total hyperwave on this next cycle is going to be NFTs. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, there's also tokens for NFT ecosystems. There's a tag here on CoinGecko, and so you can go through and check it out. Obviously, I haven't been promoting a lot of these because a lot of the times the NFTs themselves are the ones that have value, but there are some projects coming up, especially my own project, that I'm really excited to share with you that I think really hits the narrative that I really think are ones that you should be watching. And so don't be surprised when you see NFT coins get extremely popular on the next cycle. And these are the sort of filters I use to understand if coins are fitting into the trending narratives as DeFi returns, and of course with it, the excitement of the altcoin market. Finally, I wanted to touch on something. I just hit 20K followers on Twitter, so thank you guys so much for that. I'm extremely honored. Yesterday, of the coins that we covered on the channel, pretty much dominated the CoinGecko trending searches. I'm pretty honored that you guys are that excited about the coverage I'm giving to these coins, and I will not take this responsibility lightly. I put so much effort into the coins that I cover, making sure that they're things that I think will stand up over the long term and still offer upside and are kind of undiscovered. That kind of combination takes quite a while to really zone in and become comfortable with. But the fact is here that you guys are amazing and you guys are dominating right now this altcoin market. So big shout out to the Elio Trades community. It's absolutely insane the pace we're growing, and I hope to bring you guys the absolute best projects in the space. That's my goal. So let's keep on with that strategy. And of course, I also tweeted this because there were quite a few standout gainers from the coins that we talked about yesterday, specifically the Freeway token, Alliance Block, and some other ones. But I wanted to say, don't be scared here to protect your capital. This is not financial advice. This is just what I do, which is if you get a big pop here, let's say you get 100% gain, maybe the token kind of settles, it doesn't keep moving too much after that, and you just want to protect your capital, well, just sell half. If you doubled up, sell half. You take your initial capital out and you have no stress, no worries. That's just the simplest way to do it. Again, not financial advice, but this is just what I do. And then of course, if you end up with some like a really big pop like you got with Easy or something like that, what I do is I take 10% of my coins and I put it in Ethereum to hold for the long term. And again, you could see this Ethereum hold as any sort of trending altcoin that's like a blue chip, right? Say you love Chainlink, say you love Aave, say you love Uniswap, say you love Synthetics, say you love Ocean or RSR, whatever is your big coin that is already a substantial market cap that you want to accumulate more and more of. The way I do it is I take 10% of my sort of winnings here, of my big wins, and I distribute those into coins that I'm really confident in for the long term, but maybe they don't offer that much upside right now. Maybe this is just a long-term hold, but I see this thing getting to the multi-billions in the future, right? Or maybe a Polkadot ecosystem coin, whatever you're excited about, like a Kusama or something. I take 10% and I distribute those into long-term holds, whether it's Ethereum or some other big altcoin. Then I take 20% and I put it in Bitcoin. Like this is my savings account. I never touch these Bitcoins. Once they go in, they don't come out. And that is how I grow my Bitcoin hodls over time. I take 30% and I distribute it either into USDT or Ethereum. And the reason why I do that is because these go right back into the next opportunities that I find. And I take 40% and I leave it in a moon bag. And this is up to you depending on your confidence in this new coin. Do you want to take 30% and leave it in the coin? Do you want to take 40% and leave it in the coin? You could flip these last two depending on what you want. If you'd rather have more capital for a new opportunity, you can take 40% out or 30%. Again, these are just guidelines. There's no hard and fast rules. It's totally up to you guys. And I highly recommend that you guys do your own research and come to your own conclusion, build your own models. But this is just an easy 10, 20, 30, 40 model that's a little easier to wrap your head around, especially if you're newer to the space. Again, not financial advice. This is just what I do, and I encourage you guys to figure out your own methods. So if you've passed the test and you realize that DeFi is far from dead, it has more TVL locked, it has a more advanced ecosystem, it has more exciting projects delivering more returns, many of which are at or near their all-time highs, well, guess what? DeFi is far from dead. The tokens are far from dead, and there is a lot more excitement to look forward to across the Oracle space, the DEX space, the NFT space, the entire DeFi space at large, and understanding that finding yields and essentially getting active assets are some of the most important and killer apps that the blockchain has accomplished to date. So as Bitcoin stack stagnates, as it pulls back, especially as it makes its major moves up and then has some kind of meaningful stagnation like we're seeing right now, I believe those are the times the altcoins are going to shine. Of course, I'm also predicting that we're seeing Bitcoin make its all-time high towards the end of Q1 2020. We'll see if I'm right. I'm not going to make any outlandish predictions or put anything crazy on the line, because in the end, no matter what, if Bitcoin keeps going up and to the right, even if it stabilizes like it did throughout July and August, we're going to win big here in the altcoin world. I genuinely believe that. I think yesterday, the coins that I covered, they're a good testament to the fact that there is tremendous upside in this market right now in the altcoins. Of course, do your own research, make your own conclusions, wear your big boy pants if you're going to get into any of these coins, because the altcoin market is extremely volatile and it's very hard to predict the outcomes. However, I'm doing my best to open my brain and share with you everything I use, the tool sets, the process I use to analyze these coins and come to the conclusions that they're worthwhile. The more that I've shared about my process with my community, the more that my community has actually brought to me amazing tokens and opportunities. That's one of the biggest pieces of alpha I can give you, is to share the knowledge, spread the wealth here, because it will come back to you. And that's how I get tipped off about so many things, is I've built an amazing community that I encourage you guys to join by following me on Twitter and joining my Telegram group, and of course, subscribing here on the channel, because this community is filled with a wealth of knowledge. And while there might be a lot of noise, there are some diamonds in the rough, and my task is to filter it out. But if you get good at it too, you can do the same. And so no, you don't have to scan the internet. You don't have to know about every single project publishing a white paper, but you do have to be good about joining, becoming active members of communities, and learning to filter through the noise to find those gems. That's what I do. And of course, I do it within the context of understanding trending narratives, market cap, upside, those other sort of fundamental concepts, which I try to explain here. But all in all, I don't believe DeFi is anywhere close to dead. In fact, I think it's more alive than ever. I think that the understanding of what DeFi is and can accomplish is more significant than it's ever been. And I believe that the future is extremely, extremely bright for those who have not turned their back on this altcoin market. Of course, could be wrong, just one guy, but I've been putting my money where my mouth is, and so far it's been an amazing journey over the last few weeks as DeFi has started to come back to life, when in reality, in my opinion, it's just getting its next leg. So just like yesterday, where we covered some of the most exciting coins that I'm looking forward to for this month, I'm going to be doing deep dives on both those coins as well as brand new coins that you have not heard about on this channel. And if you guys are excited to hear about what I think of as the most disruptive and most undervalued coins in the space, I highly encourage you to subscribe and put that bell on, and that way you're made aware exactly when I put out new content. I have no VIPs, I have no special paid groups, I don't tell anyone what I'm going to cover. Even my closest confidants don't know about it until I publish it here on the channel. So if you have that bell on, you're effectively the first person in the world to know when I put out my coin picks. And if that's exciting to you guys, all you have to do is subscribe, put the bell on, it's completely free. And guys, we're on the way to 100,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. We're about to hit 91,000 here very soon. And all I can say is thank you so much. And this journey is made all that much more special by you guys. As usual, if you want to follow on Telegram or Twitter, the links are in the description. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode. Also, guys, I'm speaking on a panel today. It's free to register and sign up. I'm speaking on a panel about the future of digital collectibles and NFTs. So if you guys want to register for that, the link is in the description, and I think it's going to be a really good time. Obviously, one of my favorite topics, and it's happening this afternoon. And don't forget to like this video. Smash the like button, obliterate it, turn that thumb blue, and I'll see you guys next time.